Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping. This is a place where we can connect, chat, and unlock some paper crafting fun all together. I always look forward to our Monday nights together, and I'm so glad you're joining me either live or the replay or on YouTube. So welcome, welcome. Please do take a moment to say hi at least and let us know you're there. Even say where you're from or something like that. My name is Lillian and I'm from Stamper's Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And today's date, last week I had the wrong date, looked at the calendar and said the wrong thing, but today is actually November the 13th. So welcome. Hi Roz, welcome. I'm so glad you can join us. So while we go down to my desktop, I always have a question for you. And my question for you is one that I got sort of stuck with the last couple of days. Other than Christmas, what kind of card are you in need of right now? For me, it was I suddenly really needed some masculine birthday cards, or cards that would be suitable for the guys in my life. I also needed some sympathy cards. I usually have them well stocked up, but I had run out, and I also need anniversary cards. So those are the cards that I need. So other than Christmas cards, what types of cards are you needing to make right now? So let's go down to my desktop and get everything set up while you're typing that in. Do say where you're joining from. It's always fun to see what parts of the world everybody's coming from, whether you're joining us live or not. That's just something we really enjoy seeing. So I'm just getting my computer set up, and there we go. And now I'm going to share it to my group so that people that join there can also see it. But I always start on my Facebook page because then I can share it, you can share it, it all works out. So Bonnie's from Onaway, super. So not too far away from me, but a little bit. And Bonnie, refresh my memory, but I think your place overlooks the lake, does it not? Or I know that you have a nice deck anyway. General thinking of you cards, sympathy cards, yes, those. And you know, I always try to keep them on stock because you just don't feel like making them when you need them, it seems like. But I got caught this time, so that's always a good one right there. So maybe if some of you have some good ideas, you could share them, share pictures of some of them. So while you're entering your comments, I just want to bring to your attention that something special is happening beginning tomorrow and only lasts until the 16th. That's Thursday. So Tuesday to Thursday, it's not very long. It's Stampin' Up's seasonal sale. Think of all the Black Friday sales you're hearing about. This is sort of like that, only it's got a different name. It's a seasonal sale. And the sale features items from the annual catalog. So let's take a look-see. 10% off ribbons and trims. Let's actually look and see what that is. So ribbons and trims are page 143 and 144. And when I'm just looking at this, I know that some of these ribbons that I'm right out of red ribbons, so I'm going to either get one or both of these two here. I'm getting low on this, and I go through that a lot, as well as this. I think I've stocked up on most of the others. Over here, one that I got caught with, I was right out of linen thread. I usually keep 2 or 3 extras. So I'm going to stock up on that, this, and a few others that I've got my eyes on there. So 10% off the ribbons and trims. So that's great. Then it says 15% off inks. Now, they can't put everything that is going to be on sale, so they just give a general heading. But what you can do is when you check my website tomorrow, or if you go here, you will see what's on sale. So if you're a Nighthawk, you can even do that just 1 minute past midnight. So inks. So if you look here, you see you see the cardstock, and that's, I'm getting to that in a minute, but the next three, we've got the ink pads, ink refills, and the blends. They're all going to be on sale. So personally, I need to stock up on some blends. So I think I'm just going to maybe buy a few and give them to my husband to put in my stocking for Christmas. I also always check to make sure that I have ink refills for the stamp pads that I have. So they're an easy fix. They're going to be 15% off of $7. And then those ink pads are going to last you for years and years and years. So some of those are things that you need to look at. And then the other thing is 20% off papers. So papers, that means our cardstock, which we can see here, regular cardstock. But that also means things like this gorgeous specialty paper. So if you like shimmer, shine, texture, this page here, 127, is where you want to go. So 20% off of those. It's a good time. Then the designer papers are going to be 20% off. And then I just heard today, included in the sale are also the envelopes. So like I said, they can't list everything. So go and check it out anytime after midnight tonight, and you can see what all's on sale. I've been working on my list. I've been looking at my cardstock supply, what I'm low on, basic white, both thick and regular I need, basic black, all of those kinds of things. So take a look, get ordering, and if you have any people that you're buying a gift for, that might be helpful too. So just a big hint that this is a huge sale. It doesn't happen only once a year. So take a look and see if there's something there that catches your eye. Now, last week I showed you this fun fold using the Meandering Meadows paper. So it was this one here, and it opens like that. And then I showed you some alternative projects using the same fold, but using different papers. And I shared these on Facebook and said, let's move this out of the way, to choose your favorite from here, and I would choose a winner for one of these. Now, a big thank you to all of you who left comments. It was really nice to see your response. And actually, I would say the most favorite one of everybody was this one here, although they all got kudos. So randomly drew names of everyone who left a comment, and this is the one. Sheila said this one was hers because she loved the skating bird there. So Sheila, your name was drawn. Just look for this to come in the mail to you. I happen to have your address, so we'll be good to go there. And thank you once again to everybody for leaving a comment. And now today we are going to do another Meandering Meadow card, but I want to share my inspiration. The inspiration came from this card here. I saw this card when I was surfing somewhere or other. It was either a blog hop or something. And it's done by Lori of Loretta Marie Crafts. And basically I cased it, other than the fact that she had it lined up at the bottom and I accidentally put it centered, but no big deal. I like the fact that it was off center. I loved how she used the embossing folder on the cardstock and then the specialty papers. So this is just a bit of the All About Autumn specialty paper, which has been a huge hit. And it's sold out now. But this is the oxidized paper, and so it comes in two different shades, and it really just sets it off. And then we had this ribbon from the ribbon combo pack, and just kind of brought it all to life. I gave actually this card, one of these cards, I made a few of these to our son-in-law for his birthday, and he was wowed by it. So I was thrilled with that. But in looking at it, so this is a card that opens up normally. My brain was going, I know some of you are laughing, my brain is always going, but all different directions. I thought this would make a neat fun fold card. So I needed, like I said, I've been needing masculine cards. So I needed a card for my brother. So This time I lined it up at the bottom, but it actually opens like this. So you can see both sides of the designer paper, which I always love. It's a very simple fun fold, but it goes like that. So this is that, oh, let's go fishing designer paper. So front and back. I basically just stuck with her design. So I used the same die here. I put ribbon here, but it's a totally different look. So you can see that. So then I thought, well, this is fine if you have 12 by 12 designer paper. But what if you have 6 by 6, like the Meandering Meadows? So tonight we're going to try to make one like that with the Meandering Meadows. So I'm going to start with a piece of Highland Heather. This is a 4 1/4 by 11 scored in half at 5 1/2. So if we fold on the score line, and one of my downline taught me this trick. She said, you know how sometimes when you, even though it's scored, when you go to fold it, it gets a little wonky. If you use an edge, like the edge of your paper trimmer, and line up your edges, you have more success getting it, everything all lined up, and you don't have one side just a smidge longer than the other. So I'm trying to get used to that habit. There are lots of good ideas out there, but I always have trouble getting them part of my life. So I've been doing this for a little bit, so maybe it's becoming a real habit for me. Oh, Joan's liking purple. Excellent. You know what? I don't use purple very often, but I am tonight, so it's your lucky day. So then I looked through this gorgeous paper, and I chose this paper here. So this would work with any of them, and it would work with any designer papers, basically. So I wanted a piece that was going to be, let's bring in Lori's here, going to be here. And so I chose the back side of one of the pieces of designer paper. So it's like this on this side. I chose the back side. So this is 3 3/4 by the whole 6 inches. And then I scored it at 5. So we've got it like that. So we're going to fold this, and it's going to tuck in like that. So we'll just place it for now. Look at those colors together. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh, I just love it. And then we're going to bring in some fresh freesia. So we've got Highland Heather and fresh freesia. So when we were at our Stampin' Up! Online convention this on Saturday, which was fabulous, by the way, Sarah, the CEO, talked about color buddies. In other words, colors that they're just sort of different tones of the same. And one of them was fresh freesia, Highland Heather, and gorgeous grape. So I'm using these two color buddies right there. And they really do look nice together, don't they? So this is going to go here. So you can see how it's coming together and how it's following this card layout here. And then I took my designer paper, and there was another piece here, and I cut it in 4 inches, and then I cut it in half. So it's 3 by 4. So as I'm talking, tell me, should I use the sky layer or the flower layer? Sky or flower? Okay, so tell me that while I am talking about the other things. I decided to continue on, I see flower first. Okay, we're going to use the flower, but as you can see, either would work. So I decided to just keep consistent with this, and we're going to use that. And maybe afterwards I'll make a sky one too, so you can see. There we go. So this is like that. And then I have some pieces for the inside. The 3 by 4 is the same. It's supposed to be the same as this one. I didn't cut it quite right, I don't think. Let's just measure that. Yeah, I think I did it 3 1/4. 3 by 4. There we go. And then this should be the same as that one, and these are going to go on the inside, 3 by 4 and 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. So we'll put them to the side, And then we have some scrap paper to stamp on. So like many of you, I am needing Thinking of You cards, and the Meandering Meadow set has a gorgeous Thinking of You stamp. So I'm going to go with that. I could also really go with So Sincere. There are so many things in words in here that really are encouraging, and just reach out to people that way. So I could go with either. I'll go with Thinking of You, and I'm going to stamp on here. Here's a question for you. Of these two dies, the Stylish Shapes and the Nested Essentials, which do you use the most often? These are two sets that are my go-to sets. I bet you I use them in almost every project. But which would be your go-to, the Nested or the Stylish? And I'm going to put this to the side while I bring this in and stamp my words. And here we go right here. And I'm going to stamp in Highland Heather. It's a little darker than Fresh Freesia, and I think then it will show up a little bit better, but still be soft. And in this card, I stamped to the side. This one, I do have a plan, so I'm going to stamp more towards the middle. And just give a moment for the ink to transfer. And I'm putting the pressure where the stamp is, not on the edges. There we go, just like that. It almost looks like I could add some re-inker to this. I better make sure I've got some when I'm putting my order in tomorrow. So we've got the stamping there done. Then we are going to stamp, and I already stamped these ones right here. And then I'm going to bring in the blends and do a little bit of coloring. So I have got Daffodil Delight, the light and dark, they come together. I have got Smoky Slate. And then I have got some of the individual ones that are just by numbers. I've got 200 and 400. This is just going to be for the wooden handles. So I'm going to share a little bit. We learned some new coloring techniques. So I'm just going to do the dark right here. When they said when you're using blends, just kind of flick out so it's not always solid. So it's kind of, I kind of made it almost solid, but just almost like that. Leave some spaces. So I did it with the dark first, and you never want to get too much at one time because you want it to stay a bit wet. And then if you go dot, 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 dot along where the edge of that, it helps with the blending, and then pull it out and just color. I love coloring with blends. They color so effortlessly, and you feel like an artist. So you barely touch them down, even though they make a noise and it sounds like you're putting a lot of pressure. You barely touch them down, and they blend beautifully, hence the name. And there you can see as it dries, the dark and the light are blending in. And then what I did is I used the Smoky Slate here and the browns here. And I've got those already done and cut out for us so that we don't have to watch me color all the time. There we go. So let's bring our card in and start to do some assembling here. So first off, I want to fasten this piece. So tough decision about the dies. Yes, it is. Here's another question. Who has one or both of these? Who has one or both? Because I sometimes get customers asking me, which one should I get? And it's such a personal preference kind of thing. So which would you do? I see Bonnie has both. Sue, you love this sweet. I love this sweet too. I really love it. And of course, purple's your color too, right? So what I'm doing is just going to, I've got the glue there, folding it over. I've got it centered. I could have done like the Gone Fishing card and had it right on the bottom, but I decided I wanted this one centered. That's the joy of card making, right? And look at what we get to see on the inside. Just, I love, it's like a second little gift right on the inside. So now we have our basic card. So let's fasten these two together. And I know that I usually put everything on dimensionals, but I'm not today. And I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer again because I want the edges to be flush. So I'm putting this edge here, and then I'm sliding this here so it is totally flush. And because I use liquid glue, I can wiggle it around if I want, but it makes it nice and flush like that. See how perfectly it turns out? Oh, that makes me happy. Well, I'm going to keep that out now and do the same with this. So I'm going to stick this down, and I need a different glue bottle. Here we go. I always have 2 glue bottles on the go, and I know there's glue in this. Well, I actually have 3 on the go right now. I've been doing videos. I've been doing it for my Meandering Meadows class. I've been just finished up the videos for that, and so I made sure I had lots of glue around. So let's make sure we've got this going the right way. So we've got this flush, and we'll put this here, trying to keep equal borders here and here. I planned to have that, so that's all good. And there we go. So we've got them all lined up just like that. So now when we open the card, again, it's going to be like that. These are all going to be fastened together. So now we're going to put this on, and this time I'm going to, sorry, I just really like how that looks. So good choice, people. The other one would have looked beautiful too. I'm not going to put the ribbon on this time like she did. I'm going to use these little features here. So this is going to go on dimensionals. So we'll put one on each end, and then we'll put, oh, we don't want saggy cards, right? There, a little bit of overkill, but that's all right. I'll bring my little dish in. Another new habit, having that little dish on my table keeps things handy, even though there's a garbage right beside me. Okay, so I want to actually, oops, I want this to be flush too, here. And you'll notice on the card that I'm casing the leaves covered up this side, but we've got some other things going on here. And I could have centered that. So now we have our boots, and we'll put them here. And we've got, I cut out a few of these. We've got these so we can kind of put them here. For those of you who know, my husband is an avid gardener, so I can see some cards for him coming with some of these things. I just love these boots. I have an idea for a card for those boots, but we'll wait for another day. So we're going to bring in, I think I'm going to bring in my mini dimensionals and put a couple here, and then just one in the toe of the boot, and then I'll know that it's going to hit the right spot. Yeah, the toe of the boot, just like that. And then I think these are so tiny, I could maybe get dimensionals on there. I think I better bring this in. This is going to be tricky. This one I can get it on. And this one, let's see. I always look, when you're not sure, look from the other side. Yeah, it's showing a bit. So I'm going to put it back on here and cut it. I always like to cut my sticky stuff when they're on the, here, your scissors don't get so gummed up. There, now we've got a nice little piece. I'll do another test. Yeah, that works beautifully. And that skinny piece will work there. And we'll cut one more little skinny piece. Oh, I'm not going to, because it is going to, let me see, how is it going to go? Yeah. So we'll take that off and we'll put this here. I'm just going to rest it. And then we'll take the backings off of here. I think one is already off. Like that. And there we go. Now we can bring in some embellishments. So I'm going to use, this is out of stock right now, the adhesive back dragonflies and birds. The butterflies look beautiful on this, or any embellishments you have. You know, they all work so well. They're gorgeous. Seems like an embellishment just finishes things off somehow. Like that. And oh, I know. Just stick it down, Lillian. There we go. So we've got that done. And now when we open it up, it looks like that. And we need somewhere to write in here. So I thought, like I've just shown in other cards that I've made with you, I don't mind this being here. It sort of helps to frame this part here. So like that, and then this will go on here, and we can stamp. This doesn't seem to be the right size. I bet you I have some measurements just slightly off. Well, I'm going to just give it a trim. We can always fix that, right? So this is 3. This is 3.5. We're going to make it 3 1/4. It's always fixable. I think I was making too many different cards today or something. So we're going to put these two together. And I could stamp on here. There's some great stamps in that set. But I've already got these cut out, so I think I will put them on. And then that will look great on the inside. There we go. So we're going to stick that down. Just like this. So this is going to help with my thinking of you sympathy type of cards. And you can see when I show you some of the others, I've been working on birthday and all kinds of other things as well. So I'm going to put these over here just to kind of draw the eye over. And now that we've got this plan for a card, you can look at your designer paper and pull in any paper you want, and whatever occasion you're needing, you're going to be set. So here we go. So there is the card, just like that. So how many of you like that card, or do you think there's potential? All right. So there's that card. Here's the card that inspired it. Here is the card that I made for my brother. And here you see you can also, when you open it up, whoops, you could put something here as well, which I should go back and do perhaps. So I did that. And then we've got this in here. So again, you don't have to have a large piece. You can just use your paper trimmer and make that. But you can also use your dies and do something with it there. So there's that one there. And then I got playing around and I thought, well, what if I turned it this way? And like I said, I was needing some masculine cards, so I turned it this way, and then this one goes like that. So I think many of you watching will know what colors this jersey, what team this jersey is representing. Now, can't wait to try the card, Fran. Oh, that's super. And I can't wait to see what you do. So hopefully you share it with us. So this card, I tend to make a hockey jersey card about once a year. So this is just a rectangle, and some of you are going to ask. So let me just measure it. This would work for soccer or whatever. So it's 2 1/4 by 3 1/2, and then I just used a die or a circle punch and cut that out. And then I cut 2 rectangles, which are 1 inch by 1 1/2 inches, and just tucked the edges under after I had the stripes. And I just cut strips of paper and glued them down. And that's how that went. So it's really pretty simple to do. So there, we've got that. So we've got this one. Now I've got another card partially made. So I was looking at this and I thought, well, this is great for different kind of occasions, but sorry, I get sidetracked by reading all your comments, which is wonderful. I should, but I really can't do 2 things at once. What if I wanted to make a Christmas card? So I went and brought out some of our Christmas specialty paper, and I used an embossing folder here, and I've only gotten this far. So I will finish it in the next few days and post it. But see, you can use any paper you have and just layer it. You can just use cardstock if you don't have designer paper, and just go for it. So that, remember, the dimensions will be in Thursday's newsletter. That's your free tutorial. And a little bit earlier, I mentioned that we had our Stamping Up convention on Saturday, and they alternated. 1 year's going to be online, and then 1 year in person. So one of the things we get to do at a Stamping Up convention is we get to play with some new products, and we get to see what's coming. So we got to play with a Be Mine set of products. So here you're seeing a new stamp set. You're also seeing, there's tons more in the stamp set. As you can see, there's honeycombs and all kinds of stuff and little swirly things. A new punch, new embellishments, new designer paper. So all of this is coming in the January mini catalog. So, but we as demonstrators got to see it, and it was just so much fun. The other thing I mentioned that I'm just finishing up my Meandering Meadows Designer Paper class. So I no longer have packets available to purchase, but you can still purchase the PDF. So if you have the supplies, you could make it. And one of the things we made was a box to hold the cards that we made during the class. So there are, whoops, that's the envelope. There are a whole bunch of different cards in here, including a shaker card. So just excited to get those packaged up and in the mail to the people that registered for that. So yes, Joan, you are right. I know you're in the States. It's the Edmonton Oilers. So we're going to try and cheer them on. So we'll, that's all good and well, right? So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Have some fun making a card with this layout. You've seen lots of different ideas. I think you can take it 1,000 more. Remember, tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday is the sale, but it's only while supplies last. So if there's something that's on sale that you really want, I would order it sooner rather than later. If you go to my website, or if you go to here, don't worry about this part. I just couldn't figure out how to cut that off. But if you go here, it will take you to my website, and the host code will be automatically entered, and all you need to do is fill out your order. And then you can also see what's there. If you're not comfortable ordering online, please get your order to me as soon as possible. All right? Thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and take care and have fun. Bye-bye.